In this session, we will be dealing with some satellite image interpretation keys, techniques, and mapping from satellite images. As of now, we had been dealing with the capabilities and the basic science behind remote sensing, and in this session, we will start interpreting the satellite images, and there are some certain keys by which we will do that interpretation, which helps the seamless interpretation of satellite images. And image interpretation, both the aerial photograph and satellite images are different, especially in the case of satellite images. It has got some uh, important aspects which makes it differ from the aerial photograph interpretation. And the main points includes we are seeing the objects from an unfamiliar perspective, which is an overhead view from a long distance, and a portrayal of features from the top is not that familiar uh, for the interpretation experts, and that makes it much different. Aerial photographs are not that from high, um, from the height characteristics will be much different compared to a satellite image. So aerial photographs will make things more familiar than the satellite data. Satellite data will be portrayal of features from a very long distance, and which will make often unfamiliar objects. Even the familiar objects looks unfamiliar in the case of satellite images, which needs expertise and experience. And the second one is uh, use of wavelengths uh, apart from visible spectrum. So we normally would like to see objects as we see in the visible spectrum, but remote sensing uses uh, the electromagnetic radiation spectrum other than the visible ranges, including infrared, microwave, and the possible thermal segment of the infrared. All these segments which are not visible from the human eye will be used in the remote sensing more frequently, which uh, makes the objects look different. And as it is from very high elevation, uh, and as it depends on the capacity of the sensor, we will be looking at things at various different scales. So the scale of the mapping itself will have to be decided based on the resolution of the sensor and the height of the satellite. All these things play an important role to create different types of size, mapping size of the objects, and the same object will look differently in different scales. Spatial resolution plays a major role here, and the interpretation capability varies coming from small scale to larger scales. When the satellite images of larger, very high resolution satellite data will help uh, or look objects familiar, but smaller scale satellite images or smaller scale satellite images will give a totally different view of the objects, which we need to get expertise by experience and by interpreting more and more with the ground truth information. Ground truth in the sense we need to go to the ground and get the right information of the objects that we are seeing on the satellite. So let us see how the information is extracted from the images. There are basically two different methods. The first one is visual image interpretation. Visual image interpretation, in the sense we can look into the image and we can draw the boundaries by interpreting, this is the building, this is a forest area, this is a water body, and this is a fallow area, this is a paddy land, and like that we can differentiate, and we can draw the boundary of the each unit to interpret it from the satellite data. That is a visual image interpretation, and it's done by a domain expert who is sitting on the other side of the image, and he will look into the image and he will identify different polygons which has got its characteristics, and he will identify the polygon as an object. Whereas in the case of processing by computer, there are automatic methods, semi-automatic methods, and different types of methods. Basically, we use now artificial intelligence and all these things are coming in into the GIS and remote sensing platform, where the interpretation is much faster, more machine learning based. So automatic methods are coming up, and automatic methods are existing, and better and better methods are coming up with the artificial intelligence and machine learning methods. So we have got basically two. One is the visual interpretation by an expert, a domain expert, or the other one is interpretation or the classification with the help of satellite, with the help of computer and the domain expert. Semi-automatic is with the combination of expert and this system. Fully automatic systems are now being practiced with the help of artificial intelligence and machine learning processes. So visual interpretation, let us see, is based on relating to colors and patterns to real world features. We will be linking the colors and patterns that is found in the satellite data with the real world objects. So we can identify this object is this on the surface, and this color is for this object, and this tone is for this object, like that, colors and patterns. This kind of pattern will be for paddy field, and this kind of pattern will be for plantations or something like that. We can classify, and images can be displayed on a computer monitor, and you can draw on the computer monitor itself for interpretation, or it can be a hard copy, a printed satellite data, where you can keep a tracing sheet and you can trace the boundaries, which is an old method. Now presently we will use on screen digitizing, where we will be keeping the satellite digital data in the screen, and you can keep on drawing the boundaries of objects or the patterns to interpret the satellite data. And this mapping conveys the findings from the satellite data. You will be mapping out the different characteristics of the Earth's surface from the same satellite data. When an agriculture expert looking into the satellite data and taking out information, he will take all the agriculture related information. When a geologist is sitting and looking at the image, and he will take up all the geologically related information, which is like structures of rocks and different types of lithology, all that, mountains, tectonic mountains, fractures, lineaments, all these things he will pick up when he look into the same satellite image. And if a soil specialist is sitting in front of the same satellite data, he will pick up all the soil details. That means different types of soil, texture, all this, the soil wetness, all these things can be delineated and separated from the same satellite data. So it depends on who the domain expert is sitting on the other side of the satellite data, or looking into the satellite and getting information. All the satellite data remains the same, but the information gathered from it will be totally different as per depending upon the expert and the themes that which you are working. So that mapping and on the expertise and the mapping conveys all the findings and information from the satellite data. So for this, analyzing and interpreting an image is typically done through a combination of activities. First thing is that it's a spontaneous recognition. When the first time when you see an satellite data, you will immediately find, oh, these are all vegetation. These are all water body or river network. These are all roads, and as most of the thing as per the expert and experience of the expert will immediately able to identify the objects that is spontaneously can be delineated. On the other hand, he will use some clues and draw conclusions of some tones and textures and some pattern, some color of the object based on its relationship, its expertise, and its logical inference. So, there are two ways of analyzing and interpreting an image, which is spontaneous, and the other one is logical inferences. So, suppose we see an image like this, we can suddenly recognize these are all circular forms that is in the Middle East area. So it's a spontaneous recognition, identifying objects and features at a first glance. Basically, with the sprinkler irrigation, so it will be more circular in characteristics, and the farms will look on circular shape. So we will be connecting it to the region, and we will be connecting it to the type of farming. All these things can be immediately identified, and the other area is basically desertous. And you can see here, in the case of uh, a logical reasoning and logical inferences, you can see here it's not an interpretation, or it's not an earth surface features, or something which is man-made things, so that can be linked with the association and all other characteristics. We can make some logical inferences of the image that is in front of you. So these are the two different things. You can come out with the inferences from the images that you are seeing, and all these inferences and interpretation is achieved basically with the help of certain interpretation elements or guidelines to recognize the objects. There should be a standard guideline or elements of interpretation which should make everybody recognize the image, and everybody recognize the object uh, simultaneously or seamlessly or similarly. So let us see some interpretation elements, including tone or color. It's a tone or color of the image will help us to identify objects. Some color, that means if it is an infrared image or a false color composite, you will be able to identify the vegetation in red color. And if it is a forest area, deciduous forest area, dense forest area, all these tone and color texture will be different. Texture also is tone and color basically depends on the pixels. It's individual pixels, and the texture will be from an aggregation of pixels. Texture, it can be coarse texture, it can be fine texture, it can be granular, or different type of textures. We will see something in detail in the coming slides. And a pattern is another feature that will help us interpret the satellite data. In the case of a paddy field, it will have a particular pattern. In the case of a plantation, it will have a particular pattern. In the case of a hilly terrain road, it will have a particular pattern. Zigzag roads will be in the hilly terrain. So such kind of patterns will help us to identify the terrain, the characteristics of the surface objects, and all these things. And also shape, height, and elevation. So shape of the object and the elevation will help us to identify the details of the object, characteristic of the object. Different type of trees can be identified with the help of shape and height, and its size of the objects, the buildings, comparative size of objects, the size of a hill, shape of a hill. All these things will differ basically if it is a deciduous hill and tectonic hill. There will be difference in shape. But tectonic hills will have sharp edges, peaks, and all other things. A deciduous hill will have rounded top. So the shape and size of these hills itself will be different. So we will be able to identify its origin and characteristics also with the interpretation of these kind of interpretation elements and guidelines. Similarly, shadow is another interpretation element which help us to even identify the profile of the object, the height of the object, the time, if there is sun elevation and other the sun angle, all these things can be calculated basically from the shadow and all other things, and the other profile information of the tree can be generated with the help of shadow, and it gives a lot of information. And some problems that can come up is the shadow. In the shadow area we may not be able to identify the other objects which is falling within the shadow. So it has got a positive and negative impact. And other one is the site and location. The site and location is a is an associated characteristic, which is some objects will be seen in some type of site or location. And suppose you can see there will not be any snow in Kerala, snow will be there in the Himalayas. So if you find snow, it will not be in the Kerala terrain. So the site and location changes. So it depends on the site. The same tone or color or texture uh, will be showing two different objects. And in Kerala, a bright tone may not be of a snow, but in the case of Himalaya, bright tone will be snow mostly. So, and also a paddy field you will not be find in the top of a hill. So paddy, if it is there, it will be in the valleys, the down on the downside of the hill. So such kind of site and location and association. The next parameter is the association. The interpretation element, last interpretation element is the association. Some features will be associated with some sites and some location. It won't be found. You can find that object in the so that interpretation uh, correctness can also be identified with the help of site and association. As I've told, the paddy will not be seen in the top of a hill, so it's an association. It will be found along the valleys. It's a valley fill characteristic. So such kind of, and also you can see tea plantation will not be there in the bottom valley region. It will be found on the top of the hills, and where there is cool climate. So it will be found in the cool top hills. So such kind of association can be brought in. So let us see in detail the interpretation elements. So there should be an order of interpretation elements like primary, secondary, tertiary, and higher elements, higher complex elements can be coming in the bottom of the pyramid, and the primary elements will be on the top of the pyramid, basic elements. So degree of complexity will be towards the base of the pyramid, and you can see here the primary one is the tone or color. The immediate recognition primary recognition element is the tone or color, and the secondary is the size, shape, and texture. Secondary interpretation elements are the size, shape, and texture. And then comes the tertiary, which is the pattern and shadow. And the higher and the last it will be the site and association. It will be the more complex, and you should have some interpretation, domain expertise, all these things to identify the site and association characteristics. Terrain knowledge, all these things are essential. So you can order the image elements for the image interpretation in this format, and individual elements, if you come, you can discuss a bit detail of the tone and color. To be told, it's a relative brightness in a black and white image. In the case of a black and white image, it is a relative brightness of the objects. Some objects will be brighter, some will be darker, some will be in between, brighter and darker. So all these things, it's a variation of brightness. And hue refers in the color space. In the case of colored images or the multispectral, and the hue refers the variations of the objects, different types of colors and the tones. Basically, this tonal variation happens based on the amount of light that is reflected, amount of energy that is reflected. The EMR from the sun is getting reflected from the objects on the earth, which is being sensed by the sensors. So this reflection of electromagnetic radiation in the visible, infrared and microwave, etc., will be sensed by the sensor, and if the reflection is high, the image will be brighter, and if reflection is low, image will be darker. And if it is based on a thermal, if the emission is high, the image will be brighter, and if emission is low, the image will be darker. And the variation in hue are related to the spectral characteristics again. What kind of spectrum, which are the disturbances that happens to the spectrum while it's traveling through the atmosphere, and the interactions that it happens with the object. All these things will affect in the hue of the spectral characteristics, will play a major part in its improvement in the brightness or the tone or color. And the human eye has greater sensitivity for hue. It can identify around 10,000 colors. But in the case of tone or the gray shades, it can identify only up to 200 gray shades. So with color space, you will have more capability, and you can identify more and more shades compared to the gray levels. So you can see here the two black and white or panchromatic image, and the other one is a multispectral image where you can see the objects. You can see a river flowing on the right side, and water body and sand deposits along the coast, and the vegetation on the left side, and how it is being represented in the gray tone and in the false color composite. You can see fallow regions, you can see vegetated area, you can see river flowing, and you can see water body. All these things can be identified at a first look itself, and further, if you go for smaller units, you'll be able to identify and interpret the whole system, whole land use from the image, and the difference in panchromatic and multispectral can be observed from the images shown here. And the next element, texture, can be seen here in the figure given below. You will be able to identify three type of textures from the image shown below, which will be fine texture, coarse texture, and a granular texture. So all these textures are different types of objects or different types of land use pattern. So you can see here, basically there are three, as I have told. It's the tonal change can be coarse, fine, smooth or rough. Or as I have told, it can be granular, rough, and it can be fine, and it can be coarse. And the left bottom corner, you can see a rough surface or a granular surface, which will be basically the plantation. Individual trees can be identified in the left corner, left bottom corner. And in the top portion of the image you can see uh, a coarse texture, coarse texture and the canopy cannot be differentiated. It's a coarse texture. Can be able to identify it as a forest. It's a deciduous forest basically. And on the right corner you will be able to see some fine texture, which is a grassland with some shrubs around. And such this makes the differentiation between the earth's objects or the land use easier with the help of texture. And it's an example of texture. And the pattern, as I've told, you can see in the previous slide also, that the pattern, that plantation has got a particular pattern, linear pattern of arrangement of trees. That itself helps us to recognize it as a plantation. It's a man-made planting of trees. So that's why it's called a plantation. So pattern refers to the spatial arrangement. It can be concentric, radial, checkerboard. Rivers with the branches will give some pattern called a trellis, dendritic, and different types of river patterns can be identified from the satellite data. And also some erosion will show particular pattern on the satellite data, etc. Because since each objects and each characteristics, each processes will give different types of pattern representations on the Earth's surface, which we will be able to identify. And in the case of shape or form characteristics of the two-dimensional projection, and the height of an object is another element which can be used very well to identify objects. So it can distinguish between vegetation types, the shape, size. The coniferous trees will have a conspicuously different shape and size and height compared to the deciduous trees. Pine trees, which is coniferous in characteristic, will have a conical canopy compared to the deciduous trees, which has a round canopy. So such kind of shape and height characteristics, different types of trees can be identified based on their heights. Different stages of growth can be identified based on the heights, and different types of buildings can be classified based on the height. All these things can be interpreted. The shape of a river helps us to identify it as a river, and that zigzagness, the amount of water flowing along with it, all these things makes it helps us to identify it as a river. And the other one compared to it's the size of the object. If in an urban area, different types of buildings can be compared with the size and shape, and also of the patterns. Will be able to identify the growth pattern and the agglomeration of large buildings, small buildings. You will be able to identify the wealthy people, the poor people. Even such kind of classification also can be made with the help of the size and pattern. And shadow is another, as I told earlier, it's another important interpretation element which will help us to identify the height of the trees or the height of the object. As such, it can be a building, it can be tree, it can be a hillside, and it will also help us to estimate the solar elevation, illumination characteristics, knowing the time of photography. If the time of the photography is known, we will be able to identify the sun elevation, sun angle, or illumination characteristics. And even height of the buildings can be, height of the object can be estimated with the help of this. And profile view of the object can be estimated by the shape of the shadow. Along with that, it will be it will be able to identify the type of topography, landforms by enhancing these shadow characteristics in the radar imagery. Radar imagery, shadow plays a big role, and you will be able to identify topographical features and landforms based on the shadows, enhancing the shadow features. And association as another interpretation element we have discussed earlier. We will be, as in the image we can see, the green shades near the building is the man-made lawns, and it's because it's associated with a big settlement or big building. We will be able to identify it's a lawn made of a man-made lawn. Otherwise, we would have interpreted as a grassland or something like if it is in a hill. So it depends on the association. You will be able to identify. You will be able to extract information. So that association plays an important role in the case of interpretation. And the last one comes as location or site. As we have told earlier, the topographic location plays an important role in identifying individual objects. As I've told earlier, in the paddy field or the snow or type of plantation, or different characteristics of the hill, uh, different characteristics of the river, these kind of things. You will not find a wide river in top of a hill. So a wide opening on the top of a hill will be showing a different thing. But whereas in the case of plain land, will be finding wide river. So it depends on the location. The meandering of river will happen in the plains, not in the hills. So all these location and site interference will be based on the location, and the similar things, similar reflection, similar brightness of objects at different locations will be depicting different objects. So we can see here, as I've told earlier, again the tone and hue can be defined for a single pixel. Individual pixel wise, we'll be able to identify. We will be able to define tone or hue. Whereas in the case of texture, can be defined with a group of pixels only, adjacent pixels, group of pixels. That there is coarse, fine, such kind of granular. All these characteristics can be identified or defined with the help of group of pixels, not by a single. And all other interpretation elements relate to individual objects. So there will be three classes in the interpretation elements. By definition, basically, tone or hue can be defined by a single pixel, and texture can be defined by a group of pixels, and all other interpretation elements will relate to individual objects or combination of objects. And let us come up from the interpretation elements. We will be able to come up or define some interpretation keys which will help us or which will guide us for identifying features or conditions of the image, uh, so that the interpreter will have a baseline on which he can interpret the image. So if more than one people interpret also, you will be having some common features, common boundaries and all other things, so that the interpretation won't vary much if a common framework is maintained. So the criterion for identification of an object with interpretation elements is called an interpretation key. So if you use interpretation elements as a criteria for identifying objects, you call it as an interpretation key. Based on the key, you will be able to identify and you will be able to establish prior knowledge and utilize as the interpretation of the current image. So you will be The interpreter will, or the domain expert will have information of the terrain. He'll be familiar with the terrain. He'll be familiar with the similar images earlier, and if you are going to interpret a new image, the interpretation will be easier and it will be seamless. You will be able to identify more objects, more features from the same satellite data of a different of different time. Or so it provides guidance about the correct identification of features or conditions on the images. Generally, 8 standardized keys are established to eliminate difference between different interpreters. So there are, from these interpretation elements, we have 8 interpretation keys uh, to avoid variation between different interpreters. The 8 interpretation keys comes in the same as elements, which are size, shape, shadow, tone, color, texture, pattern, and association. So for agriculture and tree species identification, a number of keys has been successfully employed, used on a region by region and season by season basis, as vegetation can widely vary depending on location and season. You can see here, if you are an agriculturist, or and you are interpreting the agriculture pattern, the agriculture pattern will change, in especially in Kerala. It will change from season to season, and also it will change from northern Kerala to the southern Kerala, depending on the terrain characteristics. You will find more cashew plantation in the northern Kerala, and you will find more rubber plantation in the central Kerala. You will find more uh, coconut plantation and all other things, mixed farming, mixed plantation in the midlands of Kerala. And such kind of variations happens, and an agriculture expert can interpret the tree species, identify the type of agriculture, number of based on these keys. And the scale, time of photo taken, and also should be specifically known before we start interpretation of the image, because the time helps us to identify the season, agriculture season, or the whether it is a rainy season, whether it's a summer or winter. All these will cause changes in the images based on the reflection varies, because of the characteristics of the vegetation varies. And in the case of leaf fall in trees, the interpretation should be based on the time. Otherwise, the interpretation will be totally wrong. So you should be knowing the scale of the image, resolution of the satellite sensor on which that image is taken, time of the image. All these basic information should be known before, with along with the interpretation key, will help us to interpret the object. Here you can see some examples of the interpretation of forest types, different forest types, and you will be able to see you will the shape, uh, edge of you will be you can see the uh, top portion of that grid. Your first column, it represents the species. Second column, the crown shape, edge of the crown, tone, pattern, texture. These are the top headings, and you can see the deciduous forest and the deciduous trees will have irregular shapes, unclear borders, and you will have lighter shade, irregular pattern, and coarse texture. So this is the basic interpretation key on which we can uh, mark out a deciduous tree or a deciduous forest. Deciduous forest will have irregular shape. The trees, deciduous trees won't have a round canopy or a particular shaped canopy. It won't be conical, as in the case of pine forests. So deciduous trees will be having a merged canopy with the nearby trees, and its boundaries are of the canopy boundaries are unclear, and it will have lighter. It won't reflect much. It will have a lighter tone and irregular texture, or a coarse texture, and irregular pattern. So similarly, other species of trees interpretation keys are given. You can have a look into that, and we will have to keep develop our own keys for the vegetation species and all other land use mapping, land use characteristics before interpretation. Our own terrain based information and should be included in the interpretation framework, so that everybody interprets in the same manner. And if we have all these interpretation elements and interpretation keys, uh, we will be going for the mapping with the help of these interpretation keys. And it's the process involves first identifying the boundaries of uh, objects with a similar tone, similar texture, similar color. All these interpretation keys can be utilized to mark the boundary of the objects. And based on these keys and interpretation of features, features can be extracted based on these keys and elements. So once you differentiate the boundaries, you will be able to identify this is an object, or whether if as we have told earlier, if it is a coarse texture, uh, where the canopies are not able to be demarcated, and it's a dull tone, dull, we will be able to differentiate a deciduous forest. So such kind of delineations, as you can see here, you will be able to identify different boundaries. Based on these, you can say different boundaries with different shades. The one is gray dense drainage pattern. You can see the number in one, which is showing drainage pattern, which is gray in shades, and it's along the small valleys. And the second one is gray plus some black dots, and third one is black coarse texture. Fourth one is gray plus dense black dots. Fifth one is gray. Six is white. Seven dark gray. Black smooth texture. Gray fine texture. So you'll be able to identify different objects based on these boundaries. So you first thing is that you will be able to identify the boundaries. Then you can fix that this tone is white tone is this object, and the gray tone is this object, black tone is this object. All these objects can be delineated, identified with the help of interpretation keys. The boundary marking and identification of the object is the method of mapping. So once we generate maps, we will have to develop different types of map from the same satellite image. So the boundaries will vary. So the generation of thematic maps is the interpretation from the satellite data and produce uh, this information collected from the image into develop as a map. And the requirement in the case of old method, I've explained some old method here, and now we are only not doing these kind of methods. We are doing only visual interpretation. We are handling with digital data. We will be keeping a base layer and the satellite data overlaid, and you can draw directly on the base layer, or the you can digitize and integrate with the base layer at any stage. So the earlier type of interpretation was from the hard copy, you will be able to keep a base map ready, and you will have to draw from the satellite hard copy, and that need to be transferred to the base map. All these things was tedious in the earlier stages of remote sensing. Now things have came to the digital status, and now from there manual methods are now fading away to artificial intelligence and machine learning processes. So for this kind of interpretation, we need to have a proper map scale uh, to enable appropriate representation of interpreted information. So if we need to have a set a scale and a coordinate system, a geographic coordinate system to exact geographic reference, and a base map. So generation of thematic maps like land use, geomorphology, soil, lithology, forest, all these water resource, all these themes can be generated, infrastructure can be generated by having a knowledge of proper map scale, a geographic coordinate system or a coordinate system, and a basic map information to be printed into the enhanced for enhanced interpreted information. So it should be that the base map should be on the back, where you are keeping all these interpretation details, and the base map will be prepared from the in the earlier case it will be prepared from orthophotos or from other aerial photographs. But presently we have Survey of India topo sheet, and even at our topographic scale of 1 is to 50,000, 1 is to 25,000 topographic sheets are available. Or for orthophotographs, orthophoto can be used as a base map, plan maps can also be used on the base as a base, and the topographic sheets on 1 is 50,000, 25,000 are used as a base, and over which you can overlay your interpreted information, so that the locations information is there in the base map with road network. Location specific information can be integrated with themes that you have generated. Suppose the land use we are generating, if you are telling this is a paddy area, and this paddy area is near this town, if it is integrated with the base map, this road is passing nearby this paddy, and all these informations can be integrated by integrating it with the base map. Orthophoto also was used by the cartographers for transfer the information generated in the earlier cases. So generation of thematic maps, there are a method of transfer. It's an old remote sensing method. It depends on the transfer. The interpreted image is traced to the base map by overlaying it on a light table. Light table, you will trace out first the trace out from the image, and then overlay that traced thing on the base map on a light table, and they'll transfer it, and the interpreted image is projected via lens and mirror to the base map, and you will integrate optical zoom transferoscope and mirror projectors were used in the earlier time for transferring these informations, and a grid system was followed in the interpreted theme and also in the base map, so that the information in each grid was transferred grid-wise for better accuracy. And the photogrammetric plotting, aerial photographs are interpreted into thematic map using photogrammetric plotters. And these are big instruments which was there earlier. Now all these photogrammetry and interpretation has now changed from all these manual methods to digital methods. Digital photogrammetry and visual interpretation, all these things are now outdated. And the scale is an important feature which uh, which make us know the minimum mappable unit. So you must be knowing on what scale or which resolution data you are working on to fix your minimum mappable unit. So minimum mappable unit is the smallest unit you can delineate from a particular satellite image. So if you are working on a 50,000 image or a 23.5 meter resolution IRS list 3 satellite data, you will be you may not be able to identify objects by 1 meter by 1 meter. So you will have to fix your minimum mappable unit, and it can be 5 millimeter into 5 millimeter. So you should not delineate objects smaller than that. So your smallest units will be 5 meter by 5 meter. That is 5 millimeter by 5 millimeter. That is uh, around where the total resolution, if it is 1 is to 50,000, then 1 centimeter equals 0.5 kilometers. That means 500 meters. And if you are going by 5 meter by 5 millimeter by 5 millimeter, you will have 250 meter by 250 meter grid. Less than that, you will not be interpreting. And the smallest allowable unit will be 5 millimeter into 5 millimeter. And the scale of image thus limits the interpretation cell of the ground. So it depends on the scale. You will have to find out the size of the interpretation or minimum mappable unit. And field work or ground truthing is an important part of satellite data interpretation and thematic map preparation. So, since we are representing the Earth's surface in the maps, we will have to have cross-checking or ground truthing in the field to verify whether the interpreted object is the same that is found on the ground. So, for field visits at locations where minimum locations is needed so that we can extrapolate it to other part of the image, and this field work, location of boundaries is verified, objects is verified, location location specific characteristics is verified, and data gathered about features that cannot be derived from remote sensing can also be done from the field. That means suppose you will be able to identify a road from the image, but only from the field you will be able to identify its name. So such kind of interlinking of information from the image and the field will make the map more meaningful. And the other one is the quality of the image, that is the quality of the maps that you have generated. And it should be, it is based on the professional experience of the image interpreter or photo interpreter, and the type of images used, and the interpretation guidelines. That means the interpretation elements or the interpretation keys, uh, the image quality, and the professional experience together makes the quality of the image. And these three characteristics ensure the replicability of the map. So if one interpreter is interpreting an image and developing a land use map, the same land use is prepared by another interpreter. Both the land use maps should be the same only when both have got same professional experience, same quality image, and an interpretation guideline. So all these things will make the interpretation quality better, and similar land use classes, similar land use boundaries, and all these things will come up only if you have these three things in common, that is the professional experience and a quality image and a better interpretation guideline, and that creates better replicability. All these quality aspects that we have told about If different person is mapping the same area and the same theme, uh, or the same person is mapping the same area at different time, the interpretation need to be same, and that will happen only if we have the quality stringent basic interpretation framework with the help of interpretation elements and interpretation keys. You can see two interpretation of the same area done at two different time or by two different people will be as different as this. So there should be framework of what should be your interpretation distance and what scale you should map, what kind of zoom you should use before drawing. Both these interpretation was done at two different zoom level, so that the boundaries, left side has got a perfect boundaries and right side has got straight boundaries because the zoom level was less. So it's because of uh, the interpretation framework availability was not stringent, or it was not provided. You should be interpreting at a particular zoom level, and you should be interpreting a particular all these tone, texture, and that guideline should be provided. That framework, if it is provided, and if it is done in the same framework, the interpretation, the replicability will be more genuine, and it will be more percentage accuracy will be more. So that's for this session, and we are now building up a data from images and the thematic maps, where you will be interpreting your own images, and your own database will be generated for your requirements of projects and further analytical aspects. Thank you.